arguing with a media machine that is not in touch with reality. And it actually considers facts as its own enemy. I actually want to mention this, before the era of Mohammed bin Salman, we were called by the US media as rigid and ultra-conservative. And now, when Mohammed bin Salman opened up the society and did the right thing for the young women and men in the field of sports, they called it sports washing. And when Mohammed bin Salman decided to bring about the biggest forestation project in the world by planting 40 billion trees in the Middle East, they called it greenwashing. And when he worked on empowering women in Saudi Arabia, they called it a propaganda to whitewash the human rights record. And when also Mohammed bin Salman cracked down on the extremists and radicals, they called it religious intolerance.
So you're saying it's a bias against against Saudi Arabia.
Absolutely, insanity, and damn if you do, and damn if you don't. So the best way to confront, I would call it Saudi phobia, is to basically laugh at it and keep moving forward. And Saudi Arabia is very committed to bring about a complete reform system when it comes to every field, either in sport, in space, in technology, in AI, in every field. And that's the mission of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And
let's stick with what's changed, Salman al-Ansari, since Joe Biden visited Jeddah last July.
Yeah, I think one of the things that changed dramatically is the rhetoric, basically. And we remember just yesterday, John Kirby was asked about the U.S. administration's opinion about the Saudi production cut. He literally said that he leaves the topic to the Saudis to comment about this, and he didn't allude to a specific kind of policy of the United States. That's a good development, not like before when they kept threatening with measures, etc. And the Saudis, I believe, managed to neutralize the U.S. when it comes to the kingdom's sovereign energy policy decisions. That in itself is very important, because at the end of the day, every country should have its own sovereignty with regards to the decisions it takes. And Saudi Arabia has proven to the world that all its decisions with regards to OPEC and OPEC Plus have been there to stabilize the market. And John Kirby himself said the price didn't even go up. So the Saudis are not targeting a high price. They are targeting mainly to lower the fluctuations of oil. That's number one. Number two, the U.S. is the major strategic security partner of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I think this will remain for decades to come. Yes, we've had a lot of setbacks. We've had a lot of problems with regards to the far left agendas, with regards to the way they viewed the Middle East. So at the end of the day, these two countries are indispensable to each other for different reasons. I said it earlier that both countries fought communism together, and they both fought terrorism together, and they both stabilized the global economy together. So the idea of having a split between Riyadh and DC is not going to be for the interest of nor Saudi Arabia, nor the United States, nor for global security and global economic prosperity, that's for sure. And it is actually very funny when I see it's amusing when I see some analysts claimed that Saudi Arabia is helping Russia when they enacted the production cut. The fact is that Russia wanted to increase their production, not lower it.
Yeah,
Saudi Arabia was the one who wanted to lower it. So Russia and the US had the same objective. And our Saudi media didn't say the Russians are colluding with the US against our interest. It's the same logic. So we need to get ahead and just get away from these kind of ideas of conspiracies, etc., and look at the Saudi as the stabilizer of the energy market. Why? Because before the war, all the experts were expecting a price that can reach $140 US. And look what OPEC Plus has done. It's right now around $77. So they managed to lower the prices of oil. They managed to stabilize the oil prices. They managed to reduce the fluctuations of the oil price. That should be applauded rather than just being criticized for some conspiracy kind of ideas that do not have merit.